we really want to answer. That's why we are here. We really want to support from police department, all those, medias and everybody, so we can find the answer, we can find the truth where she is. Especially for this old 10 months old little girl, we really need to find the mom for her.
We're getting more of a sense of the timeline now. Tonight, the chief tells me that officers went to her home on August 2nd for a welfare check after getting a request from her employer. This was 2 days after she'd been last seen or heard from, and on August 5th, that's when her husband reported her missing.
A crowd of people gathered with flyers and signs, anxious to get the word out about a local mother who's been missing for almost 2 weeks. Mamta Kafle Bhatt.
I need an answer. We need an answer.
Police say it's not in Mamta's routine to be gone this long, so it's believed she didn't leave on her own. Her friend Nadia Navarro, who brought everyone here today, says Mamta wouldn't just abandon her 10-month-old.
Even if she was desperate, even if she might have been facing something, she wouldn't have left her daughter. She was very self-sacrificial that way, no matter what would have been happening.
The chief tells me the last time anyone had contact with Mamta was July 31st, and that her husband reported her missing 5 days later. 3 days after that, police put the word out on social media.
For them to be waiting 3 days, that's kind of shocking to me. And I don't understand why, and I'm frustrated and I'm disappointed.
I asked the chief about these timing concerns. He told me she was entered as missing into the law enforcement database immediately, and that detectives started investigating from there before putting together the flyer. That's not enough of an answer for Nadia. She's concerned about her friend, and she wants police to make this a bigger case.
She was not the kind of person to ever try to worry me, even if something was wrong. I would ask her how things were. She would always say, everything's good, everything's always good. And I thought that because she was always saying that, but I don't know now.
Nadia says she's got a group of people ready to help with search efforts, but the chief tells me they've already done their search and that they haven't identified any additional areas of concern. Again, authorities are investigating all possible scenarios here, and anyone with information on her whereabouts is urged to come forward.
Thank you for, what you are doing, community, and then please keep doing, and then I need your help in a all positive way. Just keep doing what you are doing, and then in a positive way, just help us in this tough time. Thank you.
And this is our first time hearing from him today. Mamta Kafle Bhatt was last seen on July 31st. Police say she hasn't had any contact with family or friends since. Today, about a dozen people searched through a park near her home where she used to walk her daughter, we're told. Police have done several searches of their own, saying they're investigating all possible circumstances here. We spoke to Mamta's neighbor, who felt compelled to organize this search for her today, especially since most of Mamta's family is over in Nepal.
She doesn't have any family around here. That's like so sad. Otherwise, I don't think I would be worried this much. I'm like, okay, she doesn't have anybody beside us, and I'm like, we should do something. And she's our neighbor.
So frustrated. All community members are frustrated because one child is alone in home without her mother, and we can feel the pain.
Another day, another group holding signs of Mamta Kafle Bhatt's face outside Manassas Park Police Headquarters.
Just very kind-hearted, always a smiling girl.
Mala Sharma is her former co-worker. The two worked together before Bhatt moved to UVA Health Prince William Medical Center, where she's a nurse.
We all are getting together. It's not only Nepali community, all people are getting together.
It's been a strong show of community these near 3 weeks as people from across Manassas Park and beyond have banded together to look for her as Manassas Park police continue their investigation.
Trying to search, we are gathering people. We are trying our best to help Mamta and Mamta's family.
Loved ones are asking the police department to put out updates about Mamta's case as soon as possible.
So we just want an answer, what they have investigated till now, what they know about it, so that we can help them if we can.
Just this week, police shared the timeline of Mamta's disappearance. On July 27th, Mamta was last seen at work. She spoke to a friend the very next day before going missing on the 31st. On August 2nd, police conducted a welfare check, and on the 5th, Mamta's husband officially reported her missing. From August 5th through the 8th, Manassas Park police detectives tell us they conducted an extensive investigation into her disappearance. Now, her close circle and far beyond is ready to see her come home.
How do you keep hope that she may turn up alive?
It's very hard. In back of our mind, maybe not, but just like thinking positive that she will come back.
The chief just confirmed that the husband is a person of interest in his wife's disappearance, and we also just learned that he is not cooperating with police. This update coming as Mamta Kafle Bhatt has now been missing for 3 weeks. 7 News' Carl Willis is live outside the police station with those breaking details. And Carl, detectives continue searching their home right now after serving a search warrant.
Yeah, they've been through there. They've been at the house throughout most of the evening here searching the family home here in Manassas Park. And I got to tell you, the news conference that just happened was something unlike I've ever seen here. You can still take a look behind me and see that there's still a crowd, members of the community who are desperate for answers, who came over here. They were hanging on every word and unhappy at the end with the amount of information and the depth of information that was given by the Manassas Park police chief. The chief saying only that they executed a search warrant today at the family's home. Police seeming to focus attention on the back deck of the home where there was a tent set up that we could see from the air. Now that the latest in about 10 search warrants that he says and hundreds of interviews. Well, tonight the chief said that the husband of missing mother Mamta Kafle Bhatt is in fact a person of interest, but he says that that has always been the case. But new tonight, as you mentioned, he says the husband is now not cooperating. Now, police surrounded the family home this evening, and the chief says the search warrant will take another 3 to 4 hours to complete, and he's not certain if he'll get a report back tonight. Now, the chief says he has asked outside police departments to provide help with the forensics, and here's what the chief had to say earlier on as well.
To this point in the investigation, our investigators have executed over 10 search warrants and conducted hundreds of interviews related to this case. This includes the search warrant that we executed this evening that you are aware of at his residence. My staff continues to work tirelessly and follow up every lead, which we have received hundreds of leads on this case.
People are leaving flowers in honor of Mamta Bhatt outside her Manassas Park home. For several weeks when she was reported missing, her loved ones were holding out hope that she was still alive. But now, after hearing what was said in court,
I think we're all in a state of shock.
Many of those who care for her are thinking the worst.
I don't think the horrific nature of it was what we expected to hear today. They used the words blood pooling. They identified large volumes of looked like blood stains.
That's what prosecutors said in court Friday morning. Investigators say they found evidence of blood splatter and pools of blood inside the master bedroom and bathroom of the Bhatt home, plus evidence of a body dragged outside the home.
It sounds whatever happened in that house reached a high level of brutality. And that makes me sad to think that my Mamta suffered greatly in her what appears to be her last moments.
Although they have not yet found Mamta's body, Manassas Park police are accusing Naresh Bhatt of killing his wife. His defense attorney argued there was no evidence of murder. Over the past few weeks, Naresh stood in front of news outlets speaking on his wife's disappearance.
I need your help.
But now he's in custody. Prosecutors said a few days ago Naresh sold his car and had previously discussed selling his home. We're also told after Mamta went missing, her husband changed his story multiple times, claimed his wife destroyed her phone before disappearing, traveled to Chantilly to buy knives, and then the next day, cleaning supplies. Now, those who care for Mamta are raising money to help care for her 1-year-old daughter, who was seen taken into the care of social services.
A very, very emotional time, and family members and neighbors held this candlelight vigil right here in front of the family's home just a few hours ago. You can see just how many candles and flowers were left behind. There were dozens of people, friends and community leaders who gathered out here in front of the family home. And as you said, very emotional, and understandably so. Today they got the update that they really were expecting but were hoping would not be the case.
May the deceased soul rest in peace.
A prayer and solemn candlelight vigil to cap off a day of heartache for friends of Mamta Kafle Bhatt. That began with the arrest of her husband, Naresh.
And what they said was Mamta is no more with us now, but they don't know where the body is.
Naresh Bhatt is charged with prohibition against concealment of a dead body, with Manassas Park Police Chief Mario Lugo confirming Mamta is presumed dead. He spoke in a private meeting with friends and community members.
I mean, we all are heartbroken, tears in our eyes. Everybody was crying, and it's so sad. She was very kind. She was innocent. And, I really liked her, as a sister.
We are very hopeful at the time, and hearing that news, it's devastating to all our community.
This update comes as police have carried out more than 10 search warrants and hundreds of hours of interviews. They're still looking for Mamta, however.
We are working this investigation. We're working carefully, and there's just a lot of things moving very quickly right now.
I'm hoping that this speed up the process.
Still, I think is like what's happening. Is it real or is some nightmare I'm dealing with? It is a nightmare one way or the other. But
those who know Naresh Bhatt tell 7 News they're still processing these latest developments.
I said, be honest. If you have anything to do with it, be honest.
In the meantime,
The baby's the first thing I think about.
friends are now concerned about Mamta's child.
I want answers, and I want justice, and I want safety, and this baby has a very delicate future. She doesn't have any other family here.
They are in the process of bringing Mamta's parents here, and hopefully she will be safe and, she will be taken care properly. We all are heartbroken, tears in our eyes. Everybody was crying, and it's so sad, that's happening to our small minority community. She was innocent, and I really liked her, as a sister, and she was being loved by the community. She was so nice, yeah.
Surprised, mad, shocking, all the emotion that hard to believe. And still, I think is like what's happening. Is it real or is some nightmare I'm dealing with? It is a nightmare one way or the other.
I want answers, and I want justice, and I want safety, and this baby has a very delicate future. She doesn't have any other family here.
Around 40 or so people packed the courtroom here, hoping the judge would decide Naresh Bhatt should remain behind bars. Ultimately, the judge did, but not without some people fearing things would go the other way. A collective sigh of relief from Mamta Kafle Bhatt's supporters after a judge denied bond for the missing 28-year-old's husband, Naresh Bhatt.
Hear this loud and clear. He is a danger to society, he is a flight risk, and he needs to stay locked up.
Naresh is accused of killing his wife around July 30th, days before he reported her missing to police. But so far, he's only been charged with concealing her body, which still hasn't been found. Today, the 37-year-old's public defender argued with no body, this charge can't stand. We heard him play this clip to the judge of the Commonwealth's attorney's remarks to reporters after police arrested Naresh Thursday.
Is she alive?
Is she alive or dead?
We don't know. We don't know.
The defense argued prosecutors don't even know yet where Mamta is or whether the blood in the home is hers, arguing a so-called news media frenzy led police to get a warrant to do something.
This is not a media frenzy. This was not based on pressure. This is based in case law and statutes.
Prosecutors laid out their evidence of a gruesome murder and a pattern of violence, stating Naresh bought a set of 3 knives on July 30th, but 2 of them couldn't be found. The public defender likened pictures of the blood prosecutors presented as evidence to that of a nosebleed. The Commonwealth countered, saying blood and splatter in the master bedroom and bathroom visible through Blue Star technology is enough to indicate Mamta is no longer alive. Prosecutors also revealed a history of domestic abuse, saying police were called to the home in February for disorderly conduct, and that a friend later told police Mamta was a victim of abuse. Prosecutors also pointed to Google searches on Naresh's work laptop, saying in April he searched how long it takes to get married after your spouse dies. Now Mamta's loved ones and even strangers are anxious for police to find her soon.
Everyone is part of this today. It is not just us saying Nepalese, it is everyone's daughter, everyone's sisters.
Naresh remains in jail until his next court date in October. His public defender tried getting that court date moved up, but the judge said he'd have to file a motion for that.
7 News was first on scene today as authorities conducted another search at the Manassas Park home of a missing woman. Mamta Bhatt has not been seen for nearly a month now, and her husband is now charged with concealing a body. Mamta's remains still haven't been found. 7 News' Rebecca Turco has been out at that home all day. Rebecca, you've spoken with authorities as well, and you've learned there were other people who live at that home.
The chief tells me the basement here is actually being rented out. Now, he doesn't know exactly by how many tenants, but neighbors tell me that it's a family that's living here. So, of course, people are wondering whether that family saw anything, whether they heard anything. Now, police spent about 3 hours at the house here searching the home. Earlier, we saw authorities take a search dog around the property and inside the home. Police have been really making their way throughout the property, carrying gear to gather additional evidence. Mamta Kafle Bhatt has been missing for about 4 weeks now. The chief tells me they conducted another search warrant today for additional evidence, but he can't disclose what evidence they were looking for at this time. Now, neighbors, meanwhile, of course, hope police find Mamta soon. One woman who lives nearby tells me she's been so stressed not knowing what's going on that police just haven't told her much.
I wish we could have some details, but I guess they're not giving up details. Even to say that, we're doing some more work to collect more evidence. They didn't even say that. They just said, you're fine, her tenants are fine, and everything is okay.
Meanwhile, the chief tells me they are following up on tips as they continue to investigate Mamta's disappearance. As police continue searching for missing mom, Mamta Kafle Bhatt, her husband's defense team wants prosecutors to hand over evidence they state would go directly to Mr. Bhatt's innocence.
So it's pretty standard motions.
John Fishwick is a former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Virginia.
The defense is certainly being aggressive, saying, look, this evidence is going to be good for us.
Naresh Bhatt's public defender is requesting any and all video from July 27th showing Mamta getting into a vehicle from her work, as well as unredacted police reports on the investigation into who owns and who was driving that vehicle. We know from a prior search warrant, Mamta was seen on surveillance video from the hospital where she worked getting into an unknown car that night. The warrant also points to a court order to Uber showing July 27th was her last transaction, but that the trip was noted as canceled by driver. Naresh's team is also requesting Mamta's cell phone data, GPS data of Mamta and Naresh, body-worn camera footage of several interactions with Naresh at his home, as well as unredacted police reports related to contacts made August 2nd through 6th, including any text messages or other communication between Naresh and law enforcement.
I think the Commonwealth is going to want him to have all the evidence. The judge is going to want him to have all the evidence so that he gets a fair trial. But I think time will tell whether that evidence is good for him or, in fact, is not good for him and circumstantially proves the Commonwealth's case.
Naresh is accused of killing his wife, Mamta, but so far is only charged with concealing her body, which still hasn't been found. The motion also lays out some of the defense's arguments so far, questioning the Blue Star technology used to detect blood in the home, arguing blood is not considered a body part under the statute.
On Thursday, Manassas Park police again searched the home of Mamta Kafle Bhatt after receiving new information, but are not saying what exactly they found or are looking for. However, one potential source of evidence is already in their possession.
Of course, there's going to be all kinds of just physical stuff in the car. I mean, people physically are in the car. They lose skin cells, they bleed.
Manassas Park Police Chief Mario Lugo confirmed to 7 News they have the Tesla of Mamta's husband, Naresh Bhatt. But automotive expert Jason Torchinsky says detectives are likely looking for not only physical evidence.
Potentially, there's a lot of data here.
Torchinsky says Teslas have a lot of computers in them.
If they really wanted to get snapshots of where the car was taken and where it was driven, like an actual breadcrumb trail, that's likely stored in the car. And can be gotten, via a number of means.
A key potential piece of evidence, footage from the car's cameras.
It can record video from cameras in the front or from the sides. So you could get video of things that happened around the car if Sentry mode had been turned on. Depending on what year the Tesla is, there are inward-facing driver monitoring. Some will have a driver monitoring camera.
Torchinsky says detectives will likely also look for where Bhatt has driven the car.
There is a log of nav destinations. Anything that was used in the car's internal nav system will get logged, the addresses that were put in there.
However, it could be a challenge to access this data. Torchinsky says it's possible Bhatt erased the data stored in the car, and detectives would have to ask Tesla for the backed up information.
My guess is there's a fair amount of protection for the individual and their data, because consumers don't like the idea of their data being that free. But I imagine in the context of a murder investigation, there's probably loopholes or ways that data could be accessed.
Manassas Park police served Google a search warrant last month, requesting things like location and browsing history for Naresh Bhatt, right around the time his wife Mamta Kafle Bhatt disappeared.
Looks like the prosecution is methodically building the timeline to show really minute by minute where he was and where she was.
John Fishwick is a former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Virginia. Now he does criminal defense.
The Google search warrant will get really, really precise location data for where Mr. Bhatt was.
According to the criminal complaint, police are accusing Naresh of murdering Mamta, but the 37-year-old is just charged with concealing her body, which still hasn't been found. The 20-page search warrant to Google also requests Naresh's account information, including any linked social media accounts, as well as his Google search history and map search history between July 27th and August 1st. The affidavit states his Google account has location-specific data pertinent to the discovery of Miss Kafle's whereabouts. In court last month, prosecutors pointed to Google searches made on Naresh's work laptop, including a search in April for how long does it take to get married after your spouse dies.
I think the powerful side of a Google search is people know, well, you're trying to look something up, you're worried about something you did, what are going to be the consequences? The defendant will say, well, I didn't do that search, or I didn't have my phone at that time. Somebody else had my phone at that time. But that's a real challenge to make.
John says this is just one more piece of the puzzle as police work to gather more evidence in time. Prosecutors have pointed to what appears to be pools of blood cleaned up in the Bhatt's home and a history of domestic abuse. The defense is arguing they don't know where Mamta is, that she could still be alive.
The challenge for the defense will be how much forensic evidence does the Commonwealth have? If you have to just answer for Google searches, perhaps that's enough to say there's reasonable doubt here, but they're going to have precise geolocation, which means where you are on this earth, and they'll have a detailed timeline tracking his location.
I think we have to start with 2 words: bond denied.
Yay! A brief moment of relief from friends of Mamta Kafle Bhatt.
Say her name?
Mamta.
After a judge ruled her husband, Naresh, must stay in jail while awaiting trial. But that relief was undercut by the new details shared in court on Friday.
It's been stated into evidence that she was murdered, dismembered, and disposed of like garbage. And I have news for you. She's not garbage.
Prosecutors laid out evidence revealed for the first time. They say on July 30th and 31st, cameras captured Naresh dropping heavy-duty trash bags in different dumpsters and trash compactors around Northern Virginia while also buying knives. Then on August 1st, prosecutors say he went to a Loudoun County gas station to drop something in a clothing donation box, with police saying what he dropped off was a blood-stained bath mat. This location was also the last place Mamta's phone pinged. Prosecutors also say a canine cadaver dog detected a dead body in the primary bedroom and bathroom of the Bhatt's home.
We've all wanted to know where Mamta was, when are we going to get her back, where are we going to find her, where we've been searching. And the truth is, we're not going to get her back.
There's a lot of video evidence. There's a lot of geolocation evidence. They'll try to connect him with her body at the last cellular location.
John Fishwick is a former prosecutor and tells 7 News this is all compelling evidence.
I'm sure the prosecution is looking at this on 2 levels. One, they're looking feverishly for that body, sadly. They hope they find it, but I think they're also expecting that they may not find the body between now and the trial. So I'm sure they'll be fully prepared to go forward with forensic evidence.
During Friday's hearing, Naresh's lawyers repeatedly stated there's no evidence that Mamta is even dead.
I think what the defense argument will be is that there, at least so far, there's been nobody found, that they haven't found Mrs. Bott, and they do not know if she's alive or dead. They'll try to say on the other evidence that this is just normal. He went to dispose of some trash. He disposed of some towels. It's going to be uphill. The jury doesn't leave their common sense at the door.
Naresh Bhatt, the husband of a Manassas Park woman missing for more than 4 months, is now charged with her murder and defiling her body. Thank you for joining us. I'm Scott Thuman. Since our update at 5:30, we've now learned that police will give another update on the case at the top of the hour. 7 News will be there, and we will live stream that press conference on our website, WJLA.com. Meanwhile, 7 News' Rebecca Turco has been very closely covering Mamta Kafle's disappearance since the beginning of all of this. Rebecca, obviously a huge new development after weeks of almost no updates.
Yes, and Scott, we really want to reiterate here that those new charges are on top of the charge of concealing Mamta Kafle Bhatt's body. And that was the charge, of course, that Naresh originally faced. Now, remember, she went missing in late July, and at last check, police still have not found her body, but we are hoping to get an update about that at tonight's news conference. Mamta's loved ones and friends have really been hoping for this elevated murder charge. She's had supporters show up at every one of Naresh's court appearances. Take a listen from the most recent one.
Every time we see him, I think all of us feel a lot of tension and a lot of anger. She can't be here, so we need to be here for her. We need to keep showing up for her family, for her daughter, for her mother. And until this is over, we're going to keep showing up.
I want people to know that, we were here to get justice for Mamta, and I think we accomplished that today by getting the first-degree murder charge. And that's what was our goal from the beginning of this, based on what we were seeing.
From the very first time Naresh Bhatt spoke publicly on August 14th,
I need your help.
Manassas Park police knew he was lying about his wife, Mamta Kafle Bhatt's disappearance.
We stood back and listened, and that was one of the things we tried to see what he was saying to the public, and that's not what he was telling us was going on. So there were some incorrect statements made by him, misleading statements, which, gave us, more ammunition to go, hey, what's going on here?
He's officially accused of murdering Mamta, and while there may not be a body or even a smoking gun,
we confirmed that it is blood, and we confirmed that it belongs to Mamta.
The evidence and bloodstains found in the couple's bedroom months ago is a match for Mamta Kafle Bhatt's DNA, leading detectives to believe he murdered and dismembered her in the home. That's what detectives needed to convince a grand jury he, and he alone, could be responsible for her murder.
This all points to one person, which is Naresh. The forensic unit of Prince William County said it was one of the worst crime scenes they've seen. That was one statement they made the day that Naresh was arrested.
It'll be another year before Naresh Bhatt has his day in court. Today, a judge approved his legal team's motion to postpone his trial.
We're all shocked.
It's not something his late wife's loved ones and supporters wanted to happen.
It's an understatement to say this is a tremendous disappointment for the family.
The defense argued they needed more time to go over the Commonwealth's 1.5 plus terabytes of discovery. Their motion states that they requested the thousands of video recordings, pictures, and documents be put on an external hard drive instead of an online portal where everything needed to be downloaded. Prosecutors wouldn't, which the defense says meant taking 10 days to download the discovery, then another 2.5 weeks to organize it. The defense argued even if they spent 6 hours a day at the jail, they couldn't show Naresh all the discovery and prepare him for trial in time. So now, instead of the trial starting this September, the judge decided it'll begin in October of next year.
We did not expect the continuance to be this far out. We're talking 14 months. We feel quite defeated that the Commonwealth agreed so readily to this amount of a delay.
Naresh is accused of killing his wife last summer and hiding her body, which still hasn't been found. Police spent weeks searching for her and other evidence. Her mother and brother have been caring for her daughter while Naresh sits behind bars.
Justice delayed does not mean that justice isn't going to be served, but I can say it certainly feels not great right now.
Now Naresh's trial is set to begin more than 2 years after Mamta's disappearance.